My name is Stacey Williams. I live in Puerto Rico. I'm a marine biologist who co-owns and runs a nonprofit organization called the Institute for Socio-Ecological Research. So the coral reefs, why they have their name is the base is the corals. The corals are the ones that build the structure, and this structure is used as a refuge for many different species like fish. If you have a coral reef that is alive and there's coral that's building and making it higher and higher, we call that a highly complex reef. And that's really a healthy reef, because without corals, most likely the reef will start eroding away by other organisms and become more and more flat. So you want corals on your reef. They're not the only important thing, because fish are important, sponges are important filtering water, but they are the basis of corals. So we do want to keep the corals alive. There are three main herbivore species on a reef: surgeonfish, parrotfish, and sea urchins. If one of those die off, that balance is lost on the reef, and the ecosystem could degrade in months, and we saw that after the die-off of that really important sea urchin, Diadema antillarum. So the balance is very sensitive. So you need all organisms, like you need top predators. Like, people think that sharks are scary and should be killed off a reef, but they're very important, and they're an indicator that the reef is very healthy.
Amongst the spines and the creatures. And if you have any questions, you could point it out to me and I could...
What I've seen on Ceba's reefs here is that you do have the big predators. We saw sharks on every dive. I saw some groupers and a lot of schools of bigger fish. When we do have a shift and the balance is lost on a coral reef, what we've been seeing is that algae can overgrow things. And algae is not a bad thing at all, because it's a food source for many organisms. But when there's not something controlling it, it grows fast, and it could overgrow many things. It could kill corals, it could kill other organisms, and it also occupies available space.
Making sure there are no crabs or worms.
One of the projects that I started in Puerto Rico is a sea urchin restoration project, and what we are trying to do is to repopulate the reefs around Puerto Rico with sea urchins, specifically Diadema antillarum, which is a keystone species and is a very effective herbivore on the reef. So what we're trying to do is repopulate these sea urchins on reefs that have a lot of algae to increase herbivory and also hopefully increase available space so that corals could settle and corals can grow and other organisms can survive on these reefs.
So they get just a little bit of water.
But it's also humans, like consumption. We need to consume less plastic, less materials, because right now we're having microplastics floating in the ocean, fish consuming plastics, we're eating plastics. So that's really affecting the ecosystem and also, fish health on the reef. So those are many ways what can be done to improve the balance of the coral reefs. Despite all this doom and gloom, we still need to continue to try to help coral reefs, whether it's initiatives like coral reef restoration or sea urchin restoration. There is still hope, and we still need to continue to fight for coral reefs.